Well, what do you know? We are back on another Tuesday night live stream. Man, I'll tell you, these weeks sure do go fast, especially now that we're dealing with Christmas and the holidays and all of that. I don't even know. Can I even say Christmas anymore? I have no idea what the hell I could say half the time anymore. But I will say this: I've got a special big time BSer sitting in the old green room right now. Everyone's gonna know who this guy is. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the thumbnail. So tonight is one of those deals where we are just gonna have some fun. We're gonna maybe talk a little bit of some Christmas movie trivia. I'll throw some other things, and we'll kind of see where this all goes. It's we're kind of at a time of the year where a lot of people are stressed out with jobs and just everything else going on. But one other thing I'll say is, I think officially, I don't know officially, but we might be the first whiskey tube live stream to also be live to Instagram, which is semi kind of cool. So it's just shifting over from this platform to a different platform. So maybe anyone on Instagram is seeing some of this stuff pop up right now. So kind of cool, a little different, but it gives everyone a different option of where they can watch these things. But before we bring Marty on, let me just say hi to a few guys that were in here. Look at Mr. Whiskey Nose was the first guy in here, quickly followed by Sugar Kitty. Good to see you, Kitty. Top Dog, good to see you, Johnny. Major Zero, good to see you, buddy. Mr. Mark Schwartz, good to see you. Nate Cox, good to see you, buddy. Old Pirate Bourbon, good to see you. What's up, Dougie? GT Mustang, good to see you. Mr. William Hall, the Waxster, good to see you. Jeffrey, Forlorn Hope, good to see you. Mr. TK, good to see you in here. I thought you'd be out doing something in the fields, but maybe things are starting to slow down a little bit. But Mr. Brandon W, good to see you. Merry Christmas to you as well. Mr. Doug H, hopefully you're staying nice and warm in the south there. Stacy, Four Leaf Whiskey, Four Leaf Whiskey, good to see you. Thank you for jumping in. Bourbon Neophyte, good to see you, bud. I think I said William Hall already. Good to see you, bud. Mr. Robert Rain, good to see you. Lance, my buddy in the Northeast. Hey, hopefully you've been okay with all the rain and stuff that was out there. I mean, I saw what a absolute mess going on out there. So hopefully everyone's good out there in the Northeast. So, Mr. Albert O, good to see you, buddy. Johnny K, good to see you as well. So, all right, without further ado, let me bring in Mr. Marty, Whiskey Nose. We'll get to some BS and then have a good time. There he is. How's it going, buddy?
What's up, man? Thanks
How
for
you
having
doing?
me.
Oh, you got it.
Happy holidays, everybody.
You got it. Happy. We have to lead with happy holidays. Well, I'm not sure if you're gonna if you say Merry Christmas or who you offend. I don't know. So we'll leave it at happy holidays. That covers everybody.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like what we were talking about a minute ago. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Everyone's got an opinion, and everyone thinks whatever the opposite opinion is the wrong opinion, but it doesn't matter. We won't get into all that stuff.
That's right.
So we're not gonna cure. We're not gonna solve anything tonight. That's for sure. The two of us.
Yeah, ain't nothing happening there.
Hey, I saw you did a couple of reviews lately. Those were some good ones. Looked like
those. I've kind of been kind of stepping back from some of those Discovery series, just straight up on price. Yeah, and I'm watching everybody else's review. Then I saw about 10 and 11 how good they were, and I got a great sample from Jeffrey and the Patreon there, and I was like, I'm going to review it, and I really do like it. I was surprised how much I liked it. And then the one that I think released yesterday was the old Overholt.
Yeah.
10-year. And it's coming around. It was fair out of the crack, but now it's starting to get in the body. It's being really solid for me. So those two are good.
Well, I think with, in fairness, you start getting some of these whiskeys that are at those kind of ages. I think naturally they just need a little bit of time to just open up, those fresh cracks. I mean, they can be really difficult to try to evaluate what that whiskey is without it being, a couple weeks with it being open,
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. And it's I don't know why it's so allocated, but this old Overholt, I mean, it's nothing but a damn 114 old granddad bottle. So Beam has their bottles.
Yep.
And it's 10 years. So, I mean, you've got all kinds of stuff laying around there. So I don't know, but whatever.
Well, and that's the thing, to that point, these big, these big heritage, distilleries. I mean, they, as much as we talk about all this older whiskey going away, it sure doesn't seem to be. They just keep pumping it out one after another. And I mean, I think that's a pretty good indication of there's still quite a bit of old stock that's out there, in my opinion.
Let me ask you this on that point. And this is where I don't know, in I guess in the grand scheme of whiskey or bourbon, actually.
Yep.
We all know that it's about the barrel. It's about having those aged barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a little distillery that we know of or is in the mix somewhere that are putting these barrels out and letting them sit for 5 or 6, 7, 8 years like the old days to maybe get back to some of this rich, oaky? You know what I'm trying to say? It's hard to explain. It's just because the demand is so high, you don't have time for barrels to sit out in the weather for 5, 6 years. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's probably some of them that are letting these things like season for, I'm going to say maybe 2 or 3 years old, and I think what part of that is also doing that by eliminating a lot of those woody, like young woody notes, by letting those things season, it probably will allow some of these other people or distilleries to release these whiskeys at younger ages where you don't get those nasty, like young oak,
green,
wood tannins. Exactly. That graininess that you get, because you're already going to get it from the distillate, but that combined with like fresh wood, man, that could be a disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so tannin overtakes you. And it just,
I don't even know what the answer to that is. That's one of those things where, I'm sure they try every single technique they possibly can to try to, get these whiskeys to flavor up as quickly as they possibly can. But you and I and everyone watching knows there's just no defeating time. No. Time it's what it takes to create really, really good whiskey, period, in my opinion.
No, you're exactly right. It's just
one of those things.
There's Rob. Hey, Rob, Doug, Sugar
Robbie, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, thanks everyone. Appreciate everyone joining. I know this is always one of those weeks where I was kind of tossing around the idea of like, do I just sit this one out? But then I was thinking, well, next week, maybe with all the holidays, people are gonna be busy and maybe take that week off. I don't know. And so I figured let's just get on here and kind of BS our way through things and figure all that stuff out. But what are you sipping on, by the way?
I went ahead and poured the old Overholt, let it get going, the 10-year cask strength. And then I started when the hockey game started, I broke out, I've never had one before, a caramel porter.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm trying to like these things, just to be honest. And it's just, they're so body heavy.
Yeah.
It's good. I can drink this.
I think part of my issue, and I love beer, but I think it feels like as I've gotten older, I can handle less of it. And what I mean by that is it seems to like fill me up or like bloat you up like so much more than it ever used to. And it makes it, because I love beer and I love those good, stouts and all those things, but man, I just can't.
Craft beer kill it. Yeah, I can't do but one or two maybe. And Rob, we talk about all the time. He's the same way. It hits you. You feel it, and it's not a head thing. It just
yeah.
So what I did this year, and I thought I'm gonna keep doing it. I think every Christmas or in the winter is I went to Total Wine and I just did a second one, which was odd for me. But I buy the make your own 6-packs and I just take the bottles different from different breweries and just said, well, I'll try this one, I'll try that one, and trying to find one I really like. So I found a couple that I think I would buy again. So that was kind of fun, something different.
Are you trying to like darker beers? Is that the thing?
Well, no, not really. I think I'm trying to like those Christmas expressions that come out. The Victory does one. Damn, I can't remember all of them. I'm so bad at
there's so many of them nowadays.
Yeah, it's like yeah.
It's just the thing with beer. It seems like, it was just ahead of bourbon, where the craft thing took off, and then everyone was on board, and then you were inundated with all these different beers, and what used to be allocated now it just sits on shelves and all of these things. So, it's just gotten to the point where I think each spirit or each, alcohol beverage, whatever it is that's your favorite, they catch up to each other, then something else surpasses it,
Yep. That's exactly right.
The
carbonation 4-leaf says, yeah, that's probably it.
Now what I will say is there are some techniques where I think you can kind of like, I don't want to say like shock it or do whatever, but you can actually allow that carbonation to like release. And I think it's by pouring it like a little bit quicker to let it do something. I saw someone do it one other time.
Todd Andy's done that before on 21090. But here's the thing. They've showed me how to do that probably 5 times, but I can't remember which damn one I'm supposed to do it with because I don't do it enough.
I think it's mostly because now remember, a lot of like porters and stouts aren't heavily carbonated anyway. So I think when you get into like the ales and like IPAs, I think those are much more carbonated than like porters and
I got no business talking about craft beer. I'll just tell you that.
I don't know. I'd love to drink the stuff, but man, I can't drink nearly as much as I used to. Maybe that's a good thing, but I don't know. So, all right. So I figured I wrote a few things down. I figured maybe do a little bit of kind of Christmassy movies trivia. I've got some questions. I've got some things like that. But I think before we get into like any specific movies, I guess I'll say to you, Marty, and anyone watching, I guess give me your 3 like favorite, I'll say Christmas movies. You could, I would say, doesn't matter what order, doesn't have to be 1, 2, or 3. Just give me 3 of your 3 favorite Christmas movies.
Mine are, and here's kind of the orders: Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story, and then Home Alone. And Elf. I love Home Alone and Home Alone 2 about equal, and then Elf.
Okay.
So it's kind of 5.
Okay. So, okay. All right.
Gremlins.
I know somebody. Yeah, I know someone's gonna put in Die Hard there. That's always the argument. I think for me, like, number 1 will probably always be Christmas Vacation. I feel like I can watch that movie not even when it's Christmas time or whatever, but makes it a little bit better. But for my second one, I had to put in, there's this movie. It's older now. It had Jack Black in it, and this one was called The Holiday.
That's it. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this was called The Holiday, and it was a movie a long time ago, and around like when my wife and I got engaged and all that. So it kind of became a movie that she and I watch all the time. And then, kind of like me, I had like a 3A and 3B, and I went with kind of the Elf and Christmas Story. Those two, you can watch them. I like the Christmas Story only because it's older, but I haven't seen the remake of it where
you may like it.
Okay, so like Ralphie is now the dad of the other. Okay.
And there's and if everybody knows how weak I am anyway, but there's a couple parts in that new one that'll bring a tear to your eye. I'll just go ahead and warn you. And that's what makes it. They captured that moment, so.
Die Hard is like
yes,
movie. Yeah. It's one of those, it is one of those things where it's not the conventional type of Christmas movie, but I suppose based on when it was done, it was, I guess, kind of qualifies as a Christmas movie, to be honest. So, all right, here's the other thing for like Christmas, like Christmas dinner. There's always this, and I never thought it was as big a deal until like recently. I was surprised to hear how equal this was. But for your main meal, is it ham or turkey?
Well, we're from just what everybody can see on screen, there's no dieting going on around the holidays where I go, and actually it's both.
Okay, all right, now so with that being said, Okay, but you would actually make both a ham and a turkey.
Yeah, because we have people that don't care for turkey and like
Okay.
ham, so you don't want to leave them out.
Yeah.
And then we also like either the day after or the day before we do a huge seafood thing.
Oh boy, you're covering all bases.
Yeah, it's absolutely damn ridiculous.
Yeah, here's another one, and I think this is this has become something I think that's been a little bit more popular the last like few years, because one of my buddies he likes ham but doesn't like turkey. So even on Thanksgiving they don't really do turkey. So they did roast beef, and I was like, it was it was weird to hear that, but it's so all over the place to hear and see what it is that people are enjoying with that. So
Cousin Eddie, that'd be funny if it was different in the chat.
Let's see. All right, so clearly Cousin Eddie.
He said Die Hard.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh man, I love ham is probably one of my favorite things. Like I love ham. I love turkey. I love the main traditional thing for whatever the meal is. So like we always had turkey for Thanksgiving, and it was always ham. Pretty traditional from that standpoint. But it's one of those things. All right, so ham for Christmas family, steak for family and Christmas Eve, ham. All right. Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where I think whatever it is you grow up kind of doing, you just kind of fall into that category. Yeah, I know. Like, I just always thought for the longest time everyone just had ham.
Yeah,
I just always thought that. But I think people will come up with anything now.
Yeah, my father-in-law does two tenderloins. Yeah,
I could see that as well. So, all right, here's another one before we get in any kind of actual movie trivia. What's the best, and this is directed towards Marty and everybody in there too, but what's the best whiskey gift you've ever received and or given to someone? That's always an interesting. It doesn't have to be anything
when whatever, I got into this 2 years ago, my brother-in-law went. It's a double-edged sword what he did. He bought me a Stag Junior for Christmas, but he bought it on secondary over $250. And I was so thankful and grateful because I only had maybe half of one at that time, and the one I had, I think my dad gave me batch 12, and he gave me I guess it was like 14 or something like that, and whatever. But I felt so bad that he did that. But that was special because he did it for me. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I think, there will always be that, like the sentimental value of something, who it came from or whatever it may be. And I think that's part of the thing, so it's like one of those things. If a parent or a brother or somebody like that gives you something, whether it's, expensive or whatever, at times that's never the main thing. I don't think it's oftentimes who it comes from and for whatever reason and all of that. So,
yeah. And then the one I gave is my dad had one bottle of Elmer and he would not open it. He just thought it was the greatest prize ever. And then when I got into my journey, I started knowing some stores and stuff. And then when they got their dump, I got a second one at retail and I gave it to him for that Christmas, I guess 4 years ago. I gave it to him for Christmas and he literally cried. Yeah. He had a tear, and I got a picture. I got a video of him and a picture of him opening it. And when we were in my other studio in Tennessee, I had a picture of him behind me, and I've just got to get it out of storage. But yeah, and I had him sign the picture and everything, so it's special. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Great question.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. It's interesting that you said Elmer T. Lee. It was kind of the same thing for my dad. Like I honestly don't
know why.
I don't get many. I would say whiskey gifts. I feel like most people look at what I've got and think like, oh my God, like it would be embarrassing no matter what it is that they would give you, which to me, I would never care. If you take the time and do all that to give me something, hey, I'll appreciate the heck out of it. But yeah, whiskey, for me, the best thing I probably ever did was something similar to like what you did for your dad. And it was coincidentally, Elmer T. Lee. Like my dad loved the hell out of that stuff. And I had one more bottle, and geez, I had this bottle from years and years ago, and I know he's got it. I don't think he has even opened it. He had another one before, but yeah, so that was kind of cool. And whether he opens it, I tell him to, but I think he's got the damn thing stashed somewhere.
Yeah,
so.
I promise you, Dad's got a damn God.
Yeah, so he's got that thing. So all right, what do we got here? Brother and sister entered a lottery to buy Watershed Mary Eve's Black Boy bottle. Drove 2 hours to get it. Very thought. So again, there's the thing. All of this stuff is, more sentimental, not the value of things. It's like so many of you and I and everyone else probably watching this stuff have more whiskey than we all need. So it's we don't need more whiskey, but whatever you can do to, appreciate something or a particular time or whatever, that's the best part. So
yeah.
Let's see, are we caught up here? All right.
Roy R does cocktail says my wife's gift to me is she never asked how much.
Oh. Yeah, I think mine's probably stopped asking the same thing too at times. I mean, I would say in all honesty, I don't find myself buying nearly as much whiskey as I used to, only because of all the whiskey that you get through the clubs and all these other things that you don't even have to buy all the stuff. You buy it because you do the reviews, and unfortunately, a lot of it just ends up sitting or given away or whatever it may. Yeah, you've got all these bottles open. You can't get to, a small percentage of them, and they just sit there.
That's one of Jenny's questions for me is what's your end game here? I'm like, there ain't one. I need one. There is not one.
No, that's the thing. And a lot of it is also a little bit of FOMO. You hear something about it, you're interested, you want to try it, so you buy it. And it becomes one of those types of things as well. So but I probably wouldn't buy any whiskey if I wasn't reviewing something, to be honest.
Yeah.
So all right, so my wife bought me a backup of my Remus 5. Fantastic, love that whiskey. I gifted a Buffalo Trace kosher rye to my tater Jewish boss. I gifted myself an F&J. I'll tell you. Well, so I hope your boss is at work or listening or watching this damn show. He's probably gonna be like, he's like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's pretty good. That's really good. Hey, I just can't fault someone for being honest. That's for sure.
That's right. That's right. And here's the thing: you're not even a Scotch drinker.
No.
So you're not even on that train riding down the road 900 miles an hour either.
And that's the other thing. I mean, the other train that I've gone down and I have for years and years is cigars, and I really enjoy them. I love all the different kinds and sizes and blends and all of those things. And again, that's another thing that's not a cheap thing. You're on average, I'm going to say, like, if you want something that's a halfway decent cigar, you're into $10, let's call it. You can get a lot ones that are less than that, factory smokes and things along those lines that are good, just, throw away. You can smoke it halfway down and just, pitch it if you want. They're only a couple bucks, but yeah, like between the accessories and all those other things, that's another rabbit hole you can go down pretty quickly. So, let's see what else. So, all right, let's do this. So I had to go with the Christmas Vacation, like right away, as far as some of the trivia. And you can answer, everybody else in the chat can answer. And maybe Marty, since we're live and we're waiting for everybody, let's let them answer a couple times. Yeah, we'll let them answer and see what people come up with. But all right, so this is specifically for the movie Christmas Vacation. So Question number 1: which city do the Griswolds live near? It says so. It's kind of an easy one. So fire away. This is the other thing, you can use all the Googles and all these other things to figure stuff out too, but you'll know pretty quickly. This is where you wish the delay wasn't quite as
Hey, speaking of that, while people are in chat talking about it, did you see the cast that showed up at Christmas Con this year of Christmas Vacation?
No.
Oh, dude, man, it'd be one of those lifetime deals. It was Cousin Eddie, Clark, Catherine, and oh my God, his wife, Lord my, Clark's wife. My brain just quit.
Oh, Ellen, yeah, Ellen. Yeah. I almost said Helen, but yeah, Ellen.
Yeah. Ellen. Oh. Yeah. So yeah, all four of them were there.
That's pretty much all of them. I wonder what neither of the actual kids from the movie showed up though.
No, I don't know. They weren't in any of the pictures I saw.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Yeah, you
there for a while, Cousin Eddie, he was off the reservation. He moved and had a beard like Letterman and just had tax problems or something. So apparently he's okay now.
Yeah, it seemed like he almost got off the train or something like that.
Yeah, Beverly D'Angelo, that's right.
Yeah. All right, so here's another one. What's the name of Clark's boss in the movie?
Oh, got it. Put it over there with the others, Greaseball.
Yeah.
Get me somebody. And get me somebody while I'm waiting.
What a movie. It was just like, I can't wait to watch. We haven't watched it yet, but probably in the next couple of days we'll start watching it. Usually I watch that movie, I'm going to say a couple times over the holiday season. Again, it's one of those things, all the lines, exactly what's coming, and it doesn't make a bit of difference. Every time you watch it, it feels like the first time.
Nora. That's right.
All right. Nothing's popped up yet. I'm surprised. All right. Here's the question again. Let's see. What's the name of Clark's boss? Do you know it?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Go ahead. Spew it out.
Shirley.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Mr. Frank Shirley. Oh yeah. Mr. Frank Shirley. So you guys, now every time you'll, in full disclosure, I watched it last night. It is such a good movie. So, this is kind of a simple one, but what does Clark forget when they go out looking for the family tree? What
his mind, his first thing.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
If you think of when you think of that scenario of how that all happened, right? Like how you went out there. Yeah, it was the saw. So if you think about the movie where all of a sudden they get out there, they got no saw, right? And then it flashed forward to the tree with the root ball and all that other good stuff on top of the tree. Like, how in God's earth did that whole thing? It's kind of like, you don't ask the question if you don't really want to know the answer, but it is one of those things where you're like, that.
And they were like a mile and a half out in the middle of nowhere too. So it's not like, you called somebody out. Hey, can you bring your truck?
And they weren't taking the old Vista Cruiser out there in waist high snow, ripping a big old thing right out of the.
I think that part of the film was shot in a golf course at Arnold Palmer golf course. I think in Minnesota or North Dakota. I can't remember.
Oh.
But it's somewhere like that. There's actually a deleted scene that somebody sent me a clip of. I don't know how they got it, but it was only like 4 seconds to where after they pick the tree, they're haggling a little bit with the tree lot owner, and it was cut. So, I mean, I don't understand why after 34 years, they've not put out a DVD with all the deleted scenes.
It's good,
like they have other movies, and that is such a, everybody in the, I don't know, I'd kind of like to know why.
Kind of a good, I don't know if I've ever even thought about it, but boy, there's got to be a million of them. There'd have to be.
Yeah.
So that the cutting room floor has got to be full of all those clips.
Oh.
It's got to be. All right, this will probably be this is an easy one. Everyone should get this. Instead of cash, what does Clark's boss give him as a Christmas bonus? Instead of cash, what does Clark's boss give him as a Christmas bonus?
Cheers, Stacy.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine getting all ramped up or amped up for your family to get a pool? Exactly. You're looking for you're looking to put in a pool for the family, and then the boss shows up with a year's subscription to Jelly of the Month Club.
Yeah, and you just wrote a check you can't cover.
No, that's a kick in the old holiday jewels. I'll tell you that. Jesus, Jelly.
You know what? I just realized something. I have an autographed bottle downstairs from Bill from Forgate, where he answered a Christmas vacation question wrong when we were at his house.
So, okay, do you remember that? Don't say it yet, but do you remember what the question was and what the thing is? So you say what the question was, and see what people answer in the comments.
I think the question was, gosh, now hold on. I said I do. The actual answer to the question is one of two things. The question was when Eddie says, it's a good looking vehicle in it, isn't it? And then Clark responds, the question was that said inside or outside the house? And Bill said what he said. And I said, nope, it's not. I said, it's this. And then Jason brought it up on his phone and showed Bill. And all of a sudden, Bill disappeared for like 5 or 6 minutes and come back and hands me.
No, that's not what it was.
It was. I thought it was.
No. I think I remember what it was, but I think it was when they were all standing outside, looking at the house.
Yeah.
And then we were trying to figure out, was the statement, she's a real, and then it was I'm trying to phrase it without giving it away necessarily, but the mom, someone said that maybe it was the dad who said to Clark, what does everyone kind of think of the lights? And I think the dad said, she's a real beaut, Clark.
Yeah. She's a beaut, Clark.
And what Bill said was, Bill said that it was, he said it was a real beaut, Eddie. And no, it wasn't Eddie, it was Clark. She's a real beaut, Clark.
Yeah.
And then Bill kept saying she's a real beaut, Eddie. And I'm like, no, that wasn't he wasn't close. He wasn't talking to cousin Eddie. He was talking to Clark, for crying out loud.
Eddie wasn't even recognized at that point in the movie. He was standing over to the side because Clark was working his way down the family. And that's when his dad said that. And then he said, you taught me everything I know about exterior illumination.
Correct. So, and he said, and that's when he said, she's a real beaut, Clark.
25,000.
Yep, 25,000 twinkling bad boys. Could you imagine the amount of effort that would go into trying to staple 25,000?
You know what? Here's what I think of. Think about getting up there in damn January and trying to take that shit down. That's the hard part.
No.
Yanking that stuff up.
Oh my Lord. It was the best. And having the best neighbors, all the highfalutin, fancy pants neighbors and stuff like that.
I won't say their names because that might be a question.
Oh my God. All right, let's see. What's another one here? It's a good one. I was gonna say who plays like Rusty in the film, but that's his real name. But all right, here's one. This should be kind of a little bit of a giveaway, but Clark wears a navy blue baseball cap that represents which NFL team? JG, you missed that by 15,000 lights. Jesus, 25,000 lights. And you remember back in the day when you had one bulb that was out, the whole damn thing would go out. I couldn't imagine having 25,000 lights. You flip that switch and nothing happens. I mean, you'd have to check every single damn light bulb. So you got it. There they are. The Bears. Oh man. Here was kind of one that I never really thought about in the movie, but when the movie ends, on which day does the movie actually end? On what day of the holiday season, what day does the movie actually end on? For them, what is the day that the movie ends on?
You know what? That's a great question.
I don't think I ever knew it until I started reading these questions. I never thought about it.
I think I know the answer, but here's the reason I think it is what it is. Yes, that's what I think, because Santa Claus never came.
Yeah.
There was never any opening of gifts.
Yep.
And he kept, stuffing. I mean, when he held the bra up or whatever and threw it back under the tree after Uncle Lewis set some bitch on fire, so there were still gifts. So that's a great question.
Never even thought about it. I'm like,
no.
When I was reading the questions before, I'm like, what day does the movie actually end on? And I was just thinking that they always got to Christmas Day. But the more you start thinking about it, you're like, yeah, they never got to Christmas.
Well, and then right before all hell breaks loose, Ruby Sue opens up the last door, the front doors, which is the 24th, lights the candle. And then that's when it all goes downhill from there.
That's true. And I suppose if you think about it, all hell broke loose with his boss on Christmas Eve. And that was pretty much it. So, but I never thought about it. So this is a good one. Who tosses a match in the storm drain, causing an explosion? That's interesting because you think about that. Who tosses a match in the storm drain, causing an explosion? The quick answer is not the one I originally would have probably said, just thinking about what the situation was. But
I'll let people in the chat answer.
Oh my God, it was a good one. Yes, Lewis.
Maybe
Uncle Lewis. That was good. That old bastard. That's a good dude right there. All right, what else do I have here? We probably don't want to do. We don't want to do romantic ones. That doesn't seem to be very appropriate. Maybe we could go with the elf. What do you think? Should we go with the elf?
Sure. Hey, I'll tell you a quick story real cool.
Yeah.
My mom, it'll be 3 years ago this year, and it was actually here in Raleigh before we even lived here. She bought me and Jenny tickets. Chevy Chase was coming to Raleigh, and it was December 31st was when it was. And you go to the theater here. It's like a civic center, and you watch Christmas Vacation with everybody. And then after it's over, Chevy Chase comes out live there, and then he's got somebody that asks him questions about his movies. And here's I'll throw this into the chat while you do that. Can you guess what Chevy Chase's favorite movie he did is?
Oh boy, that's a good one. I think that
it's popular. It's popular. It's not one that you may just put on the back burner. It's
I mean, I think to me, I think I know like the quick answer to it, but it may not be his best one. Well, it's one of the. Is that right?
Nope.
Okay, that would have been the first thing I thought of, but
I'll throw this out there. Think about his type of quick comedy throwouts. Where somebody says something, he throws some shit back out that's just hysterical. Richie Z, you got it.
I was kind of thinking about Fletch. That's probably one of his like more underrated movies, I would say.
And he got to play a lot of the roles that he wanted to create for that movie with the names and everything. And
it wasn't Fletch the movie where their dog like took off and like never came back. Was it Fletch? Fletch? No, okay.
No, Fletch was where he owed his wife a bunch of money from the divorce, and but there is a dog in that one when he goes out to Idaho or wherever it was to go get the pictures take pictures at the real estate office, and that dog about eats him alive.
Yeah,
and he takes pictures of him while it's on the car when.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
they
Funny Farms where the dog ran off. Yeah, that's right.
oh, that's what it was. Funny Farm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that yeah, where they're like playing with the dog and it like took off out in the woods and like never
Yeah.
never came back. So all right, let's do this. Let's see. All right, let's do the elf. I think the elf's pretty popular and a lot of
Yeah, I
people
won't know it as well, I promise.
yeah. All right, so obviously Buddy was the elf. So how did Buddy get to the North Pole as a baby? How did Buddy get to the North Pole as a baby? You like as you're like or reading these questions, you can just like visualize everything in the in the TV. So any so while people are doing this, what do you got planned for the holidays? Staying in town, going to visit family?
Both actually. My parents should be here tomorrow for a week, and they're going to stay at my sister's, and we'll go up there tomorrow. And probably then Caroline and her boyfriend are flying in here Thursday.
Okay.
We'll stay here till probably Sunday morning, then head to Tennessee for about 4 days.
Okay. All right. That's a good little vacation.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. And Kevin's in the chat, I see, and we'll see them on the 26th, I think.
All right, you got a lot of stuff going on. Which
is nice.
And then you're just going to be. So will you be in Tennessee for like New Year's Eve and all that? No,
we're going to Pinehurst for New Year's.
Oh, you are? Okay. Boy, you're really making the rounds.
Yeah. So listen, man, when that guy totaled the car and I got a rental, I said, I'm gonna put some miles and take his son bitch off some jumps. Let's go. So
Exactly.
Major Zero, Northeast Tennessee, Tri-Cities area.
Let's see.
I just poured some Hard Truth Mash and Journey pick.
Oh man, that is
the old Overholt.
It is so good. You know what? I'll tell you what, this is becoming quickly one of my, if not my favorite Texas whiskey, it's becoming like, I think just as a whole, what it is that Still Austin is doing is.
Are you talking about just that bottle or them?
No, not just this one, even though this is really
I heard
good.
That bottle. I've got a sample from Great Shot coming to that. And he says, Marty, he goes, this will blow your mind.
It's really good. And I think it's maybe overall, and I'll go out on a limb and say, I think in my opinion, overall, it's the most approachable Texas whiskey that's out there. I think it's the most traditional, that it doesn't give you all of those like quote unquote like whiskey feels, so to speak, but really nice, really nice whiskey. So
Richie Z, no, they're in around Nashville. That's like 4.5 hours west of where we're heading and where we're from. Maybe one day. Oh, okay, Memphis, cool.
All right, here's another one. Why does Santa sleigh crash into Central Park? Why does Santa sleigh
crash? This could be two answers. Actually, I think there's two answers to this one. I'll tell you the one. I'll give you the answer that may not tell you, and people may disagree. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's not. There's one answer to this. What I'm thinking is, why does it have to have what it's got?
Yeah, everyone. There was it was a lack of well, as they say on here, so the engine lost due to shortage of Christmas spirit.
That's it. The engine conked out, but he had to have the engine because there was no Christmas spirit.
They needed much more Christmas spirit. More Christmas spirit. Yeah. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Here's a really good one. And this is going to be specific. So, what are the 4 main food groups for elves? This is a good one. This is really specific. So I want to see who the first person to get this one actually is. Try not to use Google, okay? If you goof it up, who cares? If you nail it, perfect. But what are the 4 main what are the 4 main food groups for elves? All right. Well, that's maybe 2.
Actually, that's in the 4 main.
No, actually, one of them is technically incorrect. If you're looking for the, oh, here we go. I think you got it. Candy cane. Oh no, hang on, candy.
Candy canes, candy corns.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, you nailed it. So lots of candy canes, syrup, all kinds of chicken and watermelon, tater.
Actually, it's candy canes, candy corns, and the last one he says, and syrup. There's
Yeah,
one I'm missing.
it's candy corn.
Oh, so it's candy. Okay,
candy,
just
yeah,
candy in general.
Yeah, candy. Yeah, just candy corn, candy canes, and syrup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there sugar and syrup? Then yes.
yeah, exactly. Is there sugar? Oh my lord,
Hey, that's like Scott. That's like us out in public. You want a drink? You go yes.
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly. Oh yeah, here's another. This is probably an easy one, but which toys does Buddy not like? Which toys does he not like?
That's a good one. Oh, I've got a question that we can do after this one.
Fire away.
There is somebody that makes a cameo appearance in that movie that is in my top Christmas movies. Can you guess who it is and what movie he's originally in? I can give you another hint. He's also in Four Christmases. So this guy is also in four Christmas movies that I know of.
Oh, okay. Not the movie Four Christmases.
Yes, the movie Four Christmases.
The movie Four Christmases.
Yes.
Boy, I was gonna first say
JP got it, but don't look. Don't you try to guess if you know.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't see it.
That's all right.
The one thing I was gonna say was where the actor that you're talking about, I would have said was when they were in the getting a movie and at the like renting a movie.
I'm confused.
Weren't they standing? Was it? Let me.
You been at the airport?
No, they weren't at the airport. They were at like a Blockbuster. Maybe I'm mixing my movies up.
You are, I think.
They were. Oh yeah. Okay, that's a different one. Okay, that's not that movie. I was thinking of what the heck is his name?
You're nailing it, Chad. You're dead on it. But yeah, so.
What was it? What was it?
It's Peter Billingsley Ralphie from Christmas Story.
Oh,
he played he played the head elf Ming Ming in Elf, and then he played the attendant there at the desk in Four Christmases, the ticket attendant at the airport at the beginning of the movie when they're trying to get out of the country to fly out, and the fog is hit, and that's why they have to stay home for Four Christmases. He's the ticket attendant there.
All right. I wouldn't have got that. Admittedly, I probably haven't watched that movie.
Do you think I have a Christmas movie problem? I think I do. I do.
I don't know.
Dude, I do. That's just
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
If liking and watching too many Christmas movies is a problem, then so.
It's hard for me to sit around and watch, and I'm doing better. I've been, watching my Christmas movies this season and trying to update my OnlyFans. It's kind of not clashing together very well.
Yeah. I mean, clearly those are two things that go hand in hand as well.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one last elf one, and I'll find another one. So, what building does Buddy's father work in?
Damn, I had to think for a second, but then he gets thrown out of it.
Yes, he does.
First.
Yeah, that he does. Man, that Will Ferrell, he's just a good actor, man. He's just a good actor.
We met.
I mean, he's very of course, like typecasted because that's his personality. He's not going to probably play anything. You got it.
Yep.
All right. Let me see what else I can find. I don't think I'm going to do A Miracle on 34th Street from 1947 because I think a lot of us weren't even born yet. So
that's you were 10, weren't you?
No, not
you
quite.
weren't old enough to watch TV yet.
No, not quite. Not quite. I was a few years after 1947. Nightmare Before Christmas. I wasn't really one.
I don't even know if I've seen that twice.
I don't think I have either. That's a funny one. Let's see what else we got here. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Is that worth?
I think it might be because, since 1989, it's kind of taken a back burner since Christmas Vacation come out, and then Home Alone in 90, and then 92 with Home Alone 2. So it kind of, I don't know, that might be a good one to ask.
This one did. So this is How the Grinch Stole Christmas 2000. Oh,
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, this is Jim Carrey. So, and that was the very first question. What was the name of the comedian who plays the Grinch? No, that's fine. But I think, that's one of those things where, again, based on age, you're going to think of that movie as something could be completely different.
The little girl that plays Cindy Lou Who in that movie, some of our good friends that live in Knoxville, that's his niece.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Man. Right here, John says, I think only old people will understand what beta was.
Yep. Damn right.
That beta and VCR for the young folk in here. That was basically, remember when they were starting to come out with Blu-ray and then HD DVD? Those two things. That was kind of the equivalent of.
Remember Laserdisc?
Laserdisc. My uncle had a laser disc, and then those things were like the size of like large plates, for crying out loud.
You said something. I saw a cool picture on Instagram. It's like, when this will take you back, and God, it nailed it. It was the pack of VHS Maxell recording tapes that were all sealed together. Like, if you got this for a Christmas gift, you were thrilled. And I was like, my God, does that take you back?
Yeah. I remember getting those things as a gift, and you could record all kinds of things or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to find something from I think Home Alone will be actually, you know what? Let's go with the Christmas Story first. We'll do this one, and then we'll wrap it up. It's hard to believe that we're already an hour BSing our way. I feel like I barely even had any whiskey at all.
I don't think you've had any, have you?
I had some of the. So this was just our 4-gate pick that we did recently, and I only had it when we were there, and then our bottles never came, or mine didn't come until I just got mine either yesterday or the day before, and I'm finally getting into it now. I was like,
hey Scott, real quick before you ask a question, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in chat that are bought them. When do you know when those turkey bottles will ship? The Kentucky Spirit and the 2 Russells.
The short answer is no.
Okay, that's all right.
But they should have really already started with some of that. I think the idea was for them to get on those things pretty quickly. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that was the case, but I've got to imagine. I would have thought this week sometime, to be honest, to get ahead of Christmas.
Yeah. I just on the porch and I'm gone. So
yeah, I knew a lot of people were hoping to have them by Christmas, but man, that's just with kind of how Keg and Bottle operates. I don't know if that was like doable or not, with all of that stuff.
Wow, that's okay.
I oftentimes with all the shipping, it's one of the things that we kind of get left out of the loop on, to be honest. So
I do not know the answer to that, Sugar Kitty, and I'm kind of disappointed I don't.
Oh, that's a good one. How about the name of the spider in Home Alone? Man, oh man.
Hey, that's Siri, what's the name of the spider in Home Alone? Huh.
What was it?
This says Axel. Oh. AXL. I don't know if that's true or not.
Axel.
I don't know how. Now I got something to look for.
Yeah, Axel. I wouldn't have got that. So
no, I don't. I never knew that it was ever mentioned. But that's cool. Good question.
All right, so here let's fire away a few of them from Home Alone. So This will be easy. In which state was Home Alone filmed? I think everyone can maybe guess this one, but maybe not. Maybe that's a little bit more difficult than people think.
Damn,
See, I think they're. I think like Doug said. I think they're already starting to ship. So
okay. And that is correct. Axel is a spot. Sugar Cube, does it say that or show a name in the movie? If it does, tell us where, because that's interesting.
I don't ever. Nope, not Michigan.
Chicago is.
Yeah, I think it technically was Chicago.
That's where it's centered. I think, as in plot.
Yeah, this is in which state was Home Alone filmed. So it says Illinois. So I think it was like Chicago.
Somebody bought. I think now I may be wrong, but I think somebody bought that house here recently.
I think you're right.
Taking it back with the green and red and all the Christmas back then. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. All right. Here's another good one. So, where is the McAllister family planning to spend Christmas? Where were they planning to spend Christmas that year?
The airport, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? You're thinking about it now.
I know what you're going to say. And I swear to God, it's all I can think about now.
That movie wouldn't even be a movie nowadays for the most part, because if he somehow would have had like a cell phone, he could have sent a text message, or the mom would have sent him, "Hey, where are you?" or whatever it may be, and there would have been no Home Alone at all.
The greatest thing I saw this year, it might have been TikTok. One of them said, "What the fuck did his dad do for a living to have that house and take everybody to France?"
Yeah.
Exactly. What job did he have?
That's another. Yeah, because I mean, shit. Even back in the 80s, I mean, that still would have been an expensive trip to take everybody to Paris. That was everyone was going. So, all right. Here's another one from Major. So what does the dad? Oh, what does the dad do for take? Oh, okay. That was you saw that. Okay, that's what you were reading. So it is. Is that actually a question, or does anyone know? Does the dad ever?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows. I mean, but no. Giselle says, "The French chicks shave their pits?" Not that I know of, but they got nude beaches.
Yeah,
that was the next line after that.
All right, let's see what else we got here. So yeah, Paris was correct. All right, this is kind of an interesting one, considering we just did something with this. What is the name of the traveling polka band Kevin's mom, Kate, travels with on her way home to get Kevin?
Oh, my God.
What is the name of the traveling polka band? Basically, that's really all you need to know. What is the name of the traveling polka band?
Oh, I got it now. It took me a minute, actually.
Hint. It might have been something we just released not long ago.
That's right. Damn right.
That's exactly it.
Scott, is there any more hard truth in the future for you guys?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think Kitty nailed it. The Kenosha Kickers. That was one of the. It was one of the stickers we did for our driftless stuff. The Kenosha Kickers, exactly. Fantastic. Polka, 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 polka. Yeah, there you go. It was Gus Polinsky and the Kenosha or the Polka King, exactly.
Of the Midwest.
Exactly.
Sold 250 copies of that one.
Exactly. All right. So, let's see. Well, a couple more, and then we'll call her a night and let everybody enjoy the rest of their Tuesday evening. I don't know what that entails, but all right. Here's kind of a good one. What is the nickname of the pair of burglars who try to break into the McAllister's home? What is the nickname of basically the burglars trying to break into the home? those two friggin' buffoons.
God, when he steps on that nail, you still cringe.
Oh my God, I couldn't even all of those things that happened to those guys. Like, I couldn't even imagine. Yep, they got it. You guys nailed it. The Wet Bandits. So, those guys. You just watch that movie and like what those two had to go through from that little bastard was ridiculous. Oh my Lord. So, all right, let me do this. The one thing that they've the one issue with the StreamYard and these guys from everyone watching on Instagram, thanks for joining. Because after 1 hour, it boots you off. So you have 5 seconds, but thanks everyone for tuning in on Instagram. So
hey Scott, what's the thing I'm seeing at the top that says stream this to your audience? What do you see that box? Or maybe you're on a different StreamYard at the top says stream this to your audience. I didn't click it because I was afraid to kick something out, but I don't know. I'm not
over what
the
side?
Chat. It's over the chat. You won't see it probably because it is your audience. I don't know.
Yeah. That's because that allows you to do it.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah. If you click that, then you can stream this to your audience. I don't know. Click it. See what the hell happens. What's the worst that happened? I'm sure you can.
I can select. Oh, well, yeah, and then I just do a title, description, and everything, and save changes. I guess.
Yeah.
And schedule for later. So yeah, I can throw it up later. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas, what's up? Yeah, that's interesting. I've never noticed that before.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I think they're just trying all these different ways to make things more user friendly and all of that. So,
I've been checking out Streamlabs last couple lives and stuff. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than this, and it's got things you can drop in. But the problem is each person that jumps on with you has to have settings set a certain way, or when you show a bottle or something, it'll reverse it. You got to flip your screen and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, I was going to, the last two videos I did, I was going to do through it, but it looked kind of technical, so I just went back to StreamYard.
Yeah. So, okay, I was going to ask you. So, like the videos that you're doing now, is that all recorded right through StreamYard?
Yeah, I do it. I save it. It's very easy. I can save it to StreamYard, and then I can download it to my desktop, and then whatever program I want to use to edit, which then I can just go to desktop and drop it in. So if you do iMovie or anything like that, you just go to your desktop instead of saving it. If you save it to download, you'll be scrolling for 2 years trying to find it.
Yeah, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I wasn't sure like how some of that stuff worked, but yeah, that's the one thing, and I hope that like StreamYard starts to kind of like, the one thing I wish you could do with StreamYard was move the chat and stuff around a little bit. You make your screen large, and then either have the full screen and then the chat like as an overlay, so you can see things bigger. Because you know how it goes if you're watching on a little small laptop. Like we're the size of like I don't even know, like probably 2x3, like little small squares. You're like having to squint. But if I make the screen larger, then I can't see the chat at all. I'd have to watch it on my. Phone.
You'll take the chat out if you blow it up. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So, but, all right. What else we got here? I just want to see if anybody else said anything in here. So, man, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. I think we're. I was gonna do a Patreon live, just kind of chat with some of the guys through Patreon. So if you are a patron, I'll be dropping a link in maybe the next, 15 to 30 minutes or something like that. We'll do a little Christmas thing and maybe drink through a couple of things that have been released recently. So if you're hanging around, watch for that link and stuff to pop up. But this was something I think was just a fun little kind of spur of the moment. I wanted to get on, kind of just chew the fat a little bit. Thank everybody for all the support and everything throughout the year. And yeah, just kind of show a little appreciation, and hopefully maybe bring a few laughs to everybody during this crazy time of the year. I know it can get awfully stressful.
Everybody did well. Everybody knew their movies.
Pretty good. There's some classics. That's for sure. But so what before we wrap it up, what do you have going on with the channel? Looks like you've been a little more active lately with things.
Yeah. I've got a few more reviews getting ready to hit. Hopefully, before Saturday, I've got 2 more in the works. I've got to work on just a little bit and get those out. And then, Welcome to the Weekend is with my schedule's almost impossible now. So
Yeah.
what I'm thinking about doing is going back to what we did, me and you did, and Todd and Andy a couple years ago, is maybe starting around 6:30 on Tuesdays,
Yeah.
and then running into Bourbon Journey, and then letting Todd and Andy go. So I may go back to that schedule. So we'll wait and see after the first of the year. But I think right now that's currently my plan. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a lot of fun. So I'm ready to get back after it for sure.
Well, it's the thing, you kind of fall into a little groove, and then all the monotony of having to record and do all these things catches up to you. Then you got to kind of take a little step back, take a break, and then maybe get back into it. And yeah, I think everyone goes through all of that. It's a natural thing because I mean, at the end of the day, it is almost like having another job.
It is. You got to schedule and think, and the hard part, think. For me, but no, it's you want to do things a little bit different, some other than a lot of other stuff, but then again, you start grabbing these bottles or stuff that that you're buying that you're really happy to find. You really want to jump on it and review it, and I still think that's fun.
Yeah,
I don't care if 50 people before me reviewed it. I still enjoy doing that and getting the people in chat and comments about what they think. And then what's great is, especially if people and a lot of people that are here, Richie, and everybody is so good about responding in comments, that gives you a lot of new ideas to follow up with.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It really does. And like trying to find different things to kind of do a review of. But and it can be very difficult trying to be the first one to do a review of and all of that. And that's a very difficult proposition. And
I'm done with
it's tough. Richie, I think for me the short answer is no. Like I just don't find myself like having to chase after things or look for a crazy bottle. Like I'm happy oftentimes with what I have, and if I somehow stumble upon something, I'm good with that too.
Well, the problem, I think, Richie, with what it's a great question for me and a lot of people in the community. You don't realize and it's good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but you end up doing a Buffalo Trace chase this time of year.
Yeah,
is a thing, because that's what's dropping. Some people are getting Pappy this and Weller 12 and Foolproof and Stags, and it's just a matter of I don't know. But I'm in an ABC state, so I have to get what I can when I can.
Right.
So.
Yeah. It's tough, and oftentimes like this time of year, I'm just happy to get together with people, and if I have something and bring things along or whatever it may be, because I think the fun part of that is a lot of us have things that a lot of other people don't have. So being able to share what it is we have with others is oftentimes for me more fun than someone giving me something, because I think most of the stuff that people get local, I mean, I probably already have it, to be honest. And I don't need more. So I never tell anybody or expect anyone to give me like whiskey or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
So, I think a lot of us, like, Richie, I think a lot of us or a lot of people are like us, especially in here where, what are you going to give someone? Maybe what I would say is here's what I would say. If anyone's looking for gift ideas and you're traveling outside of the state and you're either checking luggage or you're driving there, take something local from your state. That's always something cool. If it's something that's maybe on the smaller side and isn't got big distribution, that's kind of a cool little gesture. I mean, whether the whiskey, is good or bad or however you interpret that, I don't know. The cool part is being able to try something that maybe you've never heard of. If someone brought me something from a state or whatever that I had never had, I'd be happy with that. That'd be kind of cool. So anyway, on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever it is you celebrate. Thank you again for everything. We appreciate all of the support that you guys give to all of us for throughout the year. So we can't say thank you. Can't say thank you guys enough. So safe travels. And next week I probably won't be on. I think that's going to be right after New Year's. We'll be busy with with things as well. So, but we'll be back. We'll be back probably a little after the kind of the first-ish part of the year, and we'll be back at it strong and trying to do some fun things. So, Marty, thanks for hopping on with me tonight.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the invite. It's always a pleasure, buddy. Always.
You got it. So everyone, thanks you guys so much. Appreciate it. Safe travels. Enjoy family and friend this time of year. And we will see you. We'll see you next year. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.